cerebellum.
Hmm.
And these two are the difference between the lower-minded people of the herd and the crowd. You see, these people who are quite happy to march off into wars and kill other people. You see, they're doing this because they're still in service to the bull. They've made an idol of the bull. You see, Moses, Aries, he climbed Mount Sinai right to the top of the head. And when he went back down the mountain and he saw the people, the children of Israel, making a golden calf out of the bull, they were making a statement that they were not ready to ascend Mount Sinai like Moses. They were saying, Moses, you can stay up there with your God and your tablets and then whatever other fancy things you found up there, but we're staying down here. And we've got this bull, you see, and we've turned it into gold, and Aaron made this bull for us. Because what they were doing was making a statement that they were not prepared to ascend, and they were making an idol of the bullish, materialistic brain.
And there was debauchery pretty much going on there. There were other rituals, and therefore is this also the sign that's then associated with the lower chakras? As you said before, you have a battle between your upper chakra, the head or the crown, and the lower chakra or your root chakra system.
Yeah, it's considered to be a battle, but it's not really. It's about learning the science of ascending from the bottom chakras and having such a necessity to be greedy and materialistic and want power over other people and control, and to practice vices and lust and sensation and emotion. Because the ascended master, the philosopher has slain the dragon. King George has slain the dragon. The dragon is down in Scorpio. You see, Scorpio is the generative area, the sacrum, remember?
Mm-hmm, yep.
The fluid descends down the caduceus. By the way, caduceus means to fall, to descend. So when Mercury holds the caduceus, he's holding the two cerebrum, the wings on top of the two cerebrum, and the staff is the spinal cord, and the Ida in the Pingala are the two serpents intertwined on that staff. And they are the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And the staff is the tree of life. You see, the cerebrospinal system and all the nerves, the sympathetic nerves and the motor nerves, this is the tree of life. This is the fully developed tree of life in the Garden of Eden. Eden is the cranium. It's where Aries, the lamb, and the bull are, you see. And so, but mostly in the cranium, because, see, when the Israelites cross the Red Sea, they're crossing the corpus callosum, from the left brain to the right brain. You see, they want to go from the left sinister brain, which is sin. Sinister comes from sin, you see. Sin comes from sinister. And the left brain is where logic and reason occur. It's the male brain, and it's domineering. And it doesn't have any intuition at all. Intuition is the right brain,
right?
You see. And so the Israelites worshipping the bull are connected to that left brain, you see. And see, that's the bull, Allah. And so in order to be saved and go to the Garden of Eden or the Promised Land, they must cross the corpus callosum. And this is the Red Sea into the Promised Land. And but the only thing that's crossing people is that they're making an image of the golden calf, you see. So they hold back. They hold back from climbing up Mount Sinai like Mars did, Mars being the ruler of Aries, and Venus being the ruler of Taurus, you see.
Yeah.
And this is the story that we find in all of our nursery rhymes. Jack and the Beanstalk, the same as Jacob and his ladder. Jacob is Jack.
Yeah.
And Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, the sun and the seven helpers, the 7 days of the week, the 7 refracted colours of the rainbow. Snow White is the sun. There is nothing more white and pure as that orb. Little Red Riding Hood, that's the sun. When she goes down at sunset, the scales of Libra are always sitting there. And I'll get back to that and I'll explain that, because this is another very important link for you to understand the system, the theology that came down to us. It's called the Prisca Theologia. You see, the Prisca Theologia, the ancient theology. And it's been corrupted these days. But you see, when Little Red Riding Hood, she goes down at sunset, she turns red, and in Libra, in the scales of Libra, where the sun is judged, one of the deacons of Libra is the wolf of the night. And another deacon of Libra is the cross, the southern cross. That's where the Son, the Christ, gets crucified. And the other deacon of Libra is the crown of thorns, Corona Borealis. So you see, you have the crown of thorns that Christ gets crucified at sunset. You have the wolf, the sacrificial victim, and the wolf of night, where the sun must be judged and go down into the darkness. And see, this is the system that they gave us. Aries always starts at sunrise at 6 a.m. at the equinox, March the 21st.
And it's spring, really, right? It's the first when regeneration begins, or pre-summer. Basically, it's when growth begins. Exactly.
So Aries occupying March the 21st when the blossom occurs. The blossom is the cerebellum. You see,
yeah.
The blossom is the fact that the year begins there. It marks its beginning days with the blossom. That is the beginning of the year. The days of Lent have finished, because the sun, when it's below, before March the 21st, the nights are longer and the days are shorter. Therefore, Lent is the word for lengthening, you see.
Mm-hmm.
The days are lengthening until finally the sun reaches March the 21st, the equinox, and rises at 6 a.m. and sets at 6 p.m. Only one day in the year does it do that, at March the 21st, and also it does that at September the 21st, the autumnal equinox. So the ancients knew that Aries ruled from 6 to 8 a.m. every day. Taurus rules from 8 to 10 every day. Gemini, 10 to 12. Cancer, 12 to 2. Leo, 2 to 4. The roar of the lion, the hottest part of the day. Virgo, 4 to 6. And then Libra, the scales of justice, are there at 6 a.m. every day. Every day at 6 a.m. when the sun goes into those scales to be judged, there she is, ruling from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. That dark, dark evening light, you see. And then Scorpio rules 8 to 10, Sagittarius 10 to 12, Capricorn midnight, Saturn. Saturn kicks in at midnight. Saturn is the naughty boy. He rules from 12 to 2 in Capricorn and from 2 to 4 in Aquarius every night. And then Pisces is the last rulership from 4 to 6. And this is the established heavens that were given us by the Hermetic philosophers, from Mercurius Trismegistus himself, all the way down through Pythagoras, Plato, Plutarch, Porphyry, Plotinus. I'm mentioning all the P's here for some reason. Funny about that. Proclus, Iamblichus, Ammonius Saccus, all of these guys, Boethius, Hypatia, all the way to Giordano Bruno. In the Renaissance, there was Marsilio Ficino, who I've already mentioned, Giovanni Pico della Mirandola, who went down to Rome with his 900 theses 30 years before Martin Luther. And he posted his 900 theses, but history doesn't like to tell you about that, because he challenged the Pope and the cardinals, the Apostolic Senate, to a debate, proving that syncretism was the one and only religion of all time. It always has been, it always will be, and it will return when the Catholic Church ceases to exist.
So they're like the gatekeepers of the knowledge and keeping it within the exoteric realm, if you will, instead of the esoteric. And the Alexandrians, I think Josephus had a lot of contact with these in Egypt, the Alexandrian school, because as you say, as you bring up these names, Santos, these are people who it comes from